You are now entering the No Cap Zone with your host, APT Songs and Joe Hollywood. And we are live in the No Cap Zone again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Fantastic, fantastic. So we are here today because there's been some interesting news. Oh, check out my shirt, people. See the Blockbuster video? Since we talking about videos today, so I brought the old school out.
Are we talking about videos that we're doing?
I think we're talking about videos. Yeah. So as you guys know, the site OnlyFans, which is very popular for very family-friendly classic content.
I like it. A lot of mothers on there. A lot of mothers.
A lot of mothers. A lot of mothers indeed. So they've recently decided to ban the extremely adult explicit content to appease banks and payment services. So apparently what's happening is they are trying to go for an evaluation and they want people to invest like $1 billion+ into their company. And it's not happening because they allow adult content on there by a wide variety of creators, and it's messing up their endowment, I guess.
You know what? I'm on Instagram for this. I think Instagram has like set this censorship level, and people are like, yeah, that's what we have to do. So OnlyFans was like the place that people went to get away from that, and now everybody's trying to follow the Instagram format. I don't know, it's just weird. But yeah, well,
it's funny because in this article, like I'll scroll down towards the end of it, but it talks about how Tumblr was a similar situation where like basically they allowed that content on there, and then I guess Yahoo bought Tumblr, and then Verizon bought Yahoo, and 6 months later they said, hey, you people on Tumblr can't have like adult content anymore, and it went from like a 1.1 billion evaluation to like $20 million, and it was sold. So it actually lost money by getting rid of the adult content. Also, interestingly, like as we see here, the top 10 people on these are the top 10 earners that are on this site right now. And of the 10 of them, 9 of them either do adult content or close to explicit content. And the 10th one, Jen Wolf down there, she does like bikini photos, but she also does like exercise influence stuff. But like most of the top earners are doing adult content on the site. So what is your...
I see a lot of like jokes going around because this has been rumored for a while. So now to see it's actually, set in stone is like, oh, y'all moving fast with this. But it's kind of gotten that reputation. Like that's how we know you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's like why'd you that? That's what we know of this company. Like no one's like, oh yeah, I want to learn how to make, blueberry muffins. Let me go to OnlyFans and pay somebody $10 to learn how to make blueberry muffins. Like You're gonna go to YouTube. Like they said they want like cooking stuff and, yoga channels and all that. Like I get it, but
so they're basically trying to be like YouTube. They're be like Netflix meets YouTube in a sense. Like they want to have different avenues of things. But it's hard because I know initially when the site was made, they didn't think. I kind of think of it like when Uber first came out. Like Uber was like, okay, the goal of Uber is if you're on the way home and somebody happens to need to ride in that same direction, hey, you could earn a few bucks to do that. And what happened over time is people turned it into a job. And Uber wasn't ready for it to turn into that because they were like, hey, no, we just want you to be like a side thing. It's like, no, people are making their livings off of this stuff. Same thing with like Postmates and all those other ones. So it's like you may not want a certain reputation, but that's what you've got now. And to try to turn... You're
about to turn this to a whole nother video because I have a whole conversation about that. But my thing with that is like, for one, because like the Uber thing, right? Uber, it started out as a side gig, a side hustle, and part of it is like, oh, it's convenient. I can do what I want. Like you said, I just happen to be going that way. I mean, it doesn't actually work like that. But The point is, there's more money doing that than most of the regular jobs people were doing.
True.
So it makes sense to feel like, hey, if I can make more doing this, why not do this full time? Then people are like, oh, now we got to structure it and organize it, give them a union and make it like, whoa. You're messing up the program here. Like that's not what we wanted it to be. It's just the whole thing. So I don't know, but I don't really like when too much regulation comes into something that's supposed to be freelance. Like the whole point is it's freelance, and I feel like people are going more away from corporate to like own business, work for yourself, be creative, do your own thing on your own time.
Yeah.
And it's like the corporate part hates that, and they're like, oh, we have to either make it corporate or get rid of it. And it's like, what? So even with this, like the whole censorship thing, it's like the whole supply and demand. Clearly there's a demand. So we're like, yeah, we don't like that. So we're going to take it away. So my whole thing is like, it's just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, okay, OnlyFans, they're not going to make the money from this anymore. And, it had some issues anyway, some glitches. It wasn't the best system or format. I know a few people who were participating in the process, and they weren't too happy with the format. So they're kind of like, yeah, I'm looking for something better anyway.
What were they not happy with?
Oh, apparently they were like, it's pretty glitchy, for one. Then two, content isn't protected. Like people can like write little blurbs about how my content is protected, this and that, but it's not. Like it's a website. So like Snapchat, if you screenshot Snapchat, it's a problem, and they notify you, and you block people, and they, like you see it all the time. Like, oh, don't snap my thing. OnlyFans doesn't have that option, and their whole thing was like, oh, well, we're a website, we're not an app, so we can't really track when people screenshot or record your content. So everybody's content's getting leaked all over the place. So I'm like, if I'm trying to sell something, but then you could just take it and then give it away for free, you messing up my sales. So that's where a lot of the content creators were coming from anyway. So they were like, but it had the cool factor. It had that this is where everybody's going. It was convenient. Somebody who wanted to find this content knew where to go. They knew, once everything's set up, they just add the next one. Once the celebrities hopped on, boom, we good to go. So that's why that was that site. But they're like, oh, we don't want this money. Okay. Like,
well, I think celebrities getting on there really kind of threw things for a loop too. Because originally it was just kind of like, like your average everyday person that maybe had a hot body, for example, if you're talking about women, or just had some interesting skill, they could go on OnlyFans and make like a lot of money as a quote unquote nobody, but like they're known in that space. And then you have like your Black Chinas, your Tigers, all those people coming to the space, and it's like, oh crap, all those other content creators now kind of go to the wayside because these celebrities come on and they have another revenue that
I don't think you look that way though, because there's people who legit made their celebrity status from it. There's people who became influencers and were, paying car notes and mortgages off of this. So I'm like, I don't think that the celebrities hurt them. If anything, I think the celebrities brought more people to the platform. And then once they're on the platform, they find you. Yeah. So to me, that was a help to the up and comers, to the people who were kind of like, oh yeah, let me, just do a little something on the side. It did kind of, I'll say, encourage adult content or encourage people to push their boundaries, because that was kind of what the demand was.
Well, also too, we forget that last year, when COVID happened, at least here in California, we hear news all the time, like a lot of the porn industries shut down, like there were no shoots happening. And so a lot of porn stars ended up going to OnlyFans to make solo content for their fans. And that also grew the content by default, because a lot of people at home are like, I guess I'm tired of watching my reruns of porn, so I got to get to new stuff over here. And it really did grow. Like a lot of women that were in the porn retired from doing scenes to strictly do OnlyFans. And so now their revenue
they have control. Like if you work for a company or if you work for a studio, the studio has the control and they tell you what you get paid. If you're doing something on your own and releasing your own content, that's kind of how the music industry was. Everybody had to be on a label, and then YouTube came out, and then I could put a song out myself. I got 1 million people following me. Boom! Now I got 1 million, downloads. I put the little link to whatever, iTunes or whatever, and so I can promote myself worldwide without you. So that's what happened with the porn industry. Porn industry is like, I can put my own page up, sell my own content, control my own revenue.
I don't need no pun intended. Well, I don't need a middleman to help me get my naked body out there. Like I can just, if you got to follow, if you have a couple years of content in an Instagram and a Facebook, you could do it yourself while doing it yourself.
The other side of it too was partners and all the rest of that. They just contacted the partners themselves. Like, hey, or use their own partner. Like a lot of couples did it. They're like, yo, we can make a little extra, dudes like, oh wait, we can do what and do what now?
Yeah.
All right. Like, or they just contact other content creators and work with them, team ups. And the thing too is it wasn't all straight porn. So like say they didn't want to do hardcore stuff, they could do lesser stuff on their page and control
and still get the money.
And still get the money. So it was kind of like a win-win for anybody who was interested in going into that lane.
Now,
but
also
it definitely brought out your own personal hustle, because you had to hustle it yourself. You got to do your own marketing, your own advertising. But if you got that down, if you already had 1 million followers, like it was people who super paid everybody. Shout out to Ruby Rose, because she already had her 1 million followers, and she was like, "Hey guys, I'm dropping my OnlyFans," and people rushed over and was like, yo, Ruby Rose, oh my God. And it was the same pictures that were on her Instagram. I mean, the exact same pictures.
I didn't know that.
Oh, she was infamous for that. She just put all her Instagram pictures on OnlyFans and charged people like $20 a month. Like,
some bull crap.
So, of course, like half the people dropped out, but the other half didn't. And she still got that first 20 from them. So she was like a millionaire. And then the other one was a Bad Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about marketing. This chick turned 18 and was like, boom, millionaire overnight.
But I heard she didn't put any like new posts either. It was just her name recognition alone, which I guess could that could go to the point that like if they're trying to get a more base, like we don't mind you having fans, but we don't want you to be putting out stuff that's gonna like make us look bad. Like Bad Baby didn't have to get naked to get all the money that she got the day she turned 18. You know. Also,
celebs were using it for like behind the scenes type of stuff. They weren't even being naked and nasty. They were just like, hey, you want to be a part of my life? You can follow me on set, or I'm going to the mall, or whatever they were doing. They just had their fans be a part of their personal life, and they would interact with them. That's what they were selling. You know, you can talk to me in my DMs. I'll respond on here because you're paying me. You hit me on Instagram. I don't know you, bro. So that's the other side of it. So it could work.
Well, it's interesting because I was looking at I looked at the revenues. So I don't know how big OnlyFans is trying to become. But last year they made $390 million between November 2019 and 2020. And so, they projected they'll make like 1.2 this year, then 2.1 next year, whatever. YouTube this past year made between $15 to $20 million. But also Pornhub also brought in revenue of $15 million. So that isn't to say that OnlyFans couldn't.
Pornhub had to stop charging too. You heard about that?
About what?
Pornhub had to stop charging.
No.
They were dealing with, I believe it was like human trafficking and lack of consent type situations because like they didn't censor what you put up. You could post whatever. So people were posting stuff that wasn't exactly legal. So they got into some legal trouble. And so their financial backers fell out. Not the backers, the processing company. So they couldn't accept payments. So they made all that without being able to sell videos because they got to that OnlyFans level where you could sell your own content on Pornhub. Okay. But that had to end too. So that's the thing. Is
like ads, and they have membership, and they also have like a bunch of ads on the site. Not that I know personally, but from what I've heard, they have ads and stuff on the site. So it's like, so all that to say, it isn't to say OnlyFans could not hypothetically make money in that realm. They probably have to regulate to make sure, like, you know, the person behind the camera is definitely like okay with what they're doing. They're not being coerced and they're doing it and stuff like that. But like, they could easily make money going that route, or possibly the YouTube route or the Netflix route or whatever. But it's like, it's just interesting that the first thing to go is going to be like, okay, no new, and then how are they going to regulate that? Like, if somebody sells like a see-through shirt, is that going to be considered nudity? Like, what are they going to be the actual?
Oh my God, we're going there because that cracks me up on Instagram. Instagram has like the strictest no nudity policy, kind of. So like, once again, I know content creators and they complain about this because like TikTok too. TikTok is the other one. They'll have something like a bikini on and get banned, but you'll see somebody else who's well endowed with a see-through shirt on that shows everything and it's million likes and follows and all of that. And like, how come she could post whatever she want, he could post whatever he want, and then I get banned for just having some short shorts on, or you know, a top that's cut too low. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's a weird double standard kind of going on. And from what I hear, it disproportionately targets people of color. That's been.
I'm shocked. I was really about to ask you that. Like, I wonder if it's like a colorism thing because it's like we're already seen as exotic. So anything else we show by default is like, oh, I see black cleavage. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you could be like, oh, because you know, if your butt's a little bigger, but I mean, I'm talking about people who don't have big butts. But if they have some shorts on, their thing gets taken down, and it's just like, okay, what's up with this? Like they hot about it, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, you go on Instagram and you could have you could wear saran wrap. That's completely clear, but it's covering you, so it's fine. Like mesh, it could be a mesh top. You can see straight through. How is this okay? I don't understand. But then on the flip side, but you see the other side of it too. It's just like, anything too provocative or too revealing. TikTok was bad about it. TikTok was taking everybody down. So you scroll through there, you see people complaining all the time, like, yeah, hopefully I don't get this taken down. It's just a swimsuit. It's cool. It's not even a revealing one.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's like all these weird. All these
people do some like OnlyFans level stuff. It's not on TikTok, but they'll like take it and redo it and throw it on OnlyFans or something. Like that's crazy. Or really Twitter. Twitter's the one.
Twitter got nudity too.
Twitter has porn. You can see.
I know. I've scrolled through and seen.
Like people will post stuff. You're like, what is this doing on my timeline? Twitter. So I get the censorship to an extent.
Because imagine if like a kid like types the wrong thing on Twitter and it's like, oh crap.
Oh, what the?
You know what I'm saying? Imagine like a kid like imagine the kid on Twitter like types in the wrong thing. It's like, oh snap! Like next thing there's videos. There's no warning. There might be a little like oh press this if you want whatever. But it's like it's very
or they like happen to follow Auntie so and so, and all of a sudden
yeah,
like, it could definitely get weird. Well, the other thing that was happening is like people seeing people they know. So like teachers were getting fired for stuff leaking and. Man, like just all kind of kids was getting kicked out of school because their mom had a page. Like I kept seeing all kind of stuff. Like, dude, what is happening? But then it's like, well, why do you get to control what I do on my time? Yeah, but then do you want your kids to go to school and their friends is like showing them your pictures on their phones? Like I don't know, guy.
Yeah, I do wonder about like because there are definitely a lot of women that were taking advantage of this time where they could just get on there and show whatever and be naked, and it's like. Because I don't know, because I mean, obviously women are doing porn, so I can't really feel any kind of way about that per se in terms of like my acceptance of it or not, because, who wants to see it? But I do wonder about like a lot of them are complaining about the consequences of like, oh, I don't want to face this or whatever, this is net. And then now the income source is going away. It's like, how sorry for them can I actually feel? Like you thought this could be a long-term job prospect, and that's kind of like, was it really that was not
back to the hustle. Like if you were only selling content because of the site, you feel it. But if you're genuinely a hustler, if you genuinely have fans who support you, you just gonna port that over to the next site. Like that's the difference. The thing to me though is the people who are just hopping on trying to figure it all out. The other side of it is your content's out there. So it's not like it's gonna go away now that the site's gone or you decide to switch modes. Like the internet is forever. You know what I'm saying? Once it's out, it's out. So that's going to be another side of the game too, that we're going to start seeing consequences. People upset, take this down. Why is this out here? Because it's out there. So, the money came in the moment and that was that. But, we've seen people with regrets. There's been porn stars that did some scenes like Mia Khalifa was one. She, she said she only did a couple of scenes, but she's infamous and cannot take it back. It's out there forever. But she was dealing with death threats, all kind of stuff. And it's one of those just like, okay, I'm sorry. I changed my mind. I take it back. But, what I'm saying?
Then she joined OnlyFans.
I don't know what her content's like, though, because she really like swore off porn. So I don't know if she's like doing porn on there. But
I haven't checked. I have no idea either. So, yeah.
Guess we could ask somebody.
So I'm curious though. Do you think there'll be like a mad rush off of OnlyFans come October 1st? Because this goes into effect on October 1st. So when October 1st hits, do you think all these content creators are going to rush, or you think they're going to try to like switch over to doing some stuff that is still appropriate, or like what do you think the mix will be?
Like I said, I feel like anybody who's really hustling, who really has some type of fan base going, is just going to port them over to their next site. I'm gonna tell you, the ones I know were already doing that. They were already sick of OnlyFans. They already saw this coming, so they already got their next site lined up. But most of them have like a premium Snap. They have a Dropbox. They have there's somewhere you can get content if you want it, because the demand's not going to go away. That's my whole thing. So if you're trying to live off of this, you're gonna find a way to make it happen. So what's gonna happen with OnlyFans? I feel like it's gonna dip for a minute. Like they might eventually find their feet and have, a different type of content take over. But on October and November, like the rest of this year is going to suck for them. That's just how I feel. That's my personal guess.
I wonder if the porn stars that were over there doing stuff, like they're going to go back to doing like regular scenes. Or I don't know what the regulations are going to be now that, they have the Delta variant happening, to where it's like maybe they're not shooting as many. So it's like
COVID ending, but what they're going to do to get vaccinated and test every day thing like everybody else. We're already getting tested all the time for STDs and stuff. So
they were I think they were the first ones that really ramped up that whole testing thing for COVID, because it's like we're gonna go to work, we're gonna make some content, we're gonna get paid.
They're gonna have masks on, mask porn. They fought to not have condoms, but now they're gonna have to wear masks. It's gonna be hilarious. Can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine?
That's a whole different way to do facial. Like, oh, I gotta wash the mask after this. Like,
this could be like a lot
again,
of
not
like
that
stuff. Watch.
Yeah. My God. What's interesting? These stories always kind of fascinate. It's just interesting to see what people are, in this case, what people are willing to do for money in terms of like, oh, what is OnlyFans willing to do to be able to get billions of dollars? It's actually get rid of adult content, which is just, it's interesting to think that, because they said their investors are like, hey, we want to invest, but like not with all the stuff on the site. So I'm curious to see what the investors are thinking they could do with the site if that stuff wasn't on there.
From what I hear, they're targeting like musicians and chefs and like,
this sounds supposed to be like MySpace almost. This is like another MySpace situation.
I mean, pretty much. My whole thing is like, what's going to be different from YouTube? Like all the stuff that you're saying people are going to go on there to subscribe to pay for, you can already find on YouTube for free, and you might have to watch an ad. So versus I actually got to put my credit card in and pay you to watch the same thing. Like,
didn't OnlyFans at one point have like a leak also?
Huh?
Didn't they have like a leak of some kind of like people's credit card numbers and stuff got out at one point? Like,
from OnlyFans, maybe.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that happened like last year or something.
Sounds about right. Those happen all the time.
Wild times.
But yeah, I don't know, guy. Like, I feel like they're messing up. That's me. But you know, who knows? 5 years from now, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe we'll all be on there like watching.
Yeah. I wonder if they like maybe they'll rebrand. Because I'm thinking like OnlyFans, the brand and the logo OnlyFans is now so equated with adult content. Like I can't imagine being able to keep that name and then move it into a positive realm. I guess it could happen, but that'd be like Pornhub trying to turn it into like a baking channel. Like that's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm not going to create Pornhub with like, oh, this is the baking channel. I'm going to for my recipes, you know. But maybe
baking naked.
That could be a thing. Or sorry, baking with tasteful covering. If you're trying to change it to a non-porn site.
Baking and pasties.
Edible pasties, yes. Yes, I'd be all day for that. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, now you're letting your fetishes out. That's not what this show's about here.
Oh my God. Any other thoughts? That's all I got on OnlyFans. Any other thoughts?
Oh man. I don't know. Like I feel like there's more, but I don't know. I'm over it, to be honest with you. It's so much. Just I'm curious to see what the next place is that's gonna kind of fill in the slack. I do want to talk about just the whole concept of nudity in America. Okay. Just how we're so anti anything showing people's bodies and how it's such a huge deal. Like violence, no problem. Cut somebody's head off, par for the course. Shoot up a whole thing, great. Oh my God, that's a booby. No, all bad. Like how did we get here? Like I know how we got here, but
I mean,
it doesn't really make sense.
Well, something the main problem is we've sexualized every part of a woman to the point where it's like anything gets shown is, you know, like boobs. It's like, oh, they can be used to nurture. They can be, you know, sometimes a woman just wants to just get a freaking tan and not worry about tan lines. And then they can also be used for sexual purposes. But we're so heavy focused on the sexualized part that it's kind of like, you know, it's that thing of like trying to tell like little boys like, hey, don't sexualize this part. And it's like, we don't know, but we also teach them to like sexualize it. So it makes it harder to have the agreement of like, oh, women can do this. Because I mean, guys, back in like the early 20th century, dudes also couldn't like show their nips in public. And then dudes are just like, well, we're going to screw it. We're going to show anyway. And then now it's not sexualized at all. But back then it was.
It changed the law because the men weren't going to go for it. The men were like, I don't care. Arrest me. And they just got tired of arresting people. So they're like, all right, let's just change it. Okay, men can, women can't. That's how we ended up here. That is the actual story. Yeah. And so the other side of that too, though, is women are getting more and more freedoms, like the state of New York or city of New York, one of those. Mm-hmm. Women can walk around topless, totally legal.
I've been there. I've seen it.
Nevada, at least Clark County, it is not illegal for a woman to be topless in Las Vegas. Just a thing. Okay. So it's, you know, not encouraged per se, but the only thing is the lower portions have to be covered according to the law. But boobies out, no problem. But on the internet, all bad. No, can't show it on the internet. Can't show it on TV. Even movies are shying away from it. this has been a thing since like the 70s and the 80s, like all kind of sex scenes or topless this and that. And we've been having this conversation for a while where it started switching over and like, oh no, we can't show this anymore. But the male nudity started rising. And so you'll see a man with in any movie or show. And so you start seeing a bunch of sex scenes where women will have their bra on or shirt on or be covered, but the man's butt is all in the screen. And I'm like, this is a weird trade-off. I don't like where this is going. And the last movie we talked about,
there was definitely more showing in there. Yeah.
Suicide Squad definitely had a dude swinging in the wind. There was nothing covered out of.
I think the rule is like as long as it's not an erect member, you can show it.
As long as it's not sexualized.
So basically, if a woman's nips are not perky, then we're fine. If they're just flat,
nope, can't show them at all at this point for whatever reason. But you know, man, as long as it's not in a sexual situation. Yeah. So I don't know. It's so weird to me.
It's actually other countries when other countries where like it's not sexualized, like women can walk around and it's totally fine. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, new beaches and all kind of stuff. I want to say France is one of the places where they're like, honestly, sex, nudity. They're like, what's the problem? Why are you guys so prudish about it? They're more upset about violence than sex. And to me, that makes more sense. Like a lot of people, I know people who are like, oh, if their kids are watching a movie that's got violence, it's rated R for violence. It's not a big deal. But if it's language.
My mom was like that. Like, you can shoot all day. Language maybe, but nudity, no. Yeah, no sex, no nudity.
But nudity is like literally a part of everyday life. Like at some point you're going to be naked, unless you're just real nasty and don't shower. But like people are going to be naked at some point.
But that's to keep the stigma. What's funny to me though is that like so most of this comes from adults. Like adults are like, hey, we don't want to have our kids. We don't want to expose our kids to nudity, this and that. Meanwhile, your 13 and 14-year-old, I'm sorry to say, is looking at nudity. They don't have you to guide them on how to look at it, so they're just looking in a very unhealthy way. But they're already looking at it. So it's because it's funny. I remember saying
with their friends about it and trying to play little doctor games behind the thing and stuff. Like this is happening, but we're not guiding. We'll talk about it.
I remember being a teenager. It's like we go, like say me and my brother, and my mom went to a movie, and they just happened to show nudity, and we'd be in there in our seats, like, oh, it's a new thing. But I'm like, but I've seen this before, and she's clearly seen this before. What's the actual alarm here? Is that her sons now get to see nudity on screen by somebody else? Like this is not the thing I haven't already seen.
It's just the whole our culture has decided that puritanical European kind of what's the word? Just the old school church, the like European one, that mentality trickled down to America, and that's what's kept us with that mindset. And it's really just kind of like left over because a lot of people really aren't that pressed about it, but they're supposed to be. So because you're supposed to be, you got to act all pressed about it. But at the end of the day, like, because to me, it really doesn't make sense, the whole breastfeeding thing. Like, why is it a problem to breastfeed in public? But, oh my God, no, you have to cover up. Why? Like, I'm totally with the whole free the nipple. Why is this a problem? Shut up about it. If you have a problem, look away. Like, that makes all the sense in the world to me. But, you know, what it is. And it's like, if you really can't handle a booby popping out in front of you, like, what are you really going to do? The craziest thing I saw, Wolf of Wall Street, because I just watched it again. Okay. And Margot Robbie's character walked in. And Jonah Hill's character was, like, out of his mind on a lot of drugs. And he pulled out and started going to town in the middle of a party. Yeah. What? I've never heard of this happening in real life. To be honest, they would kick him out of the party and he would be arrested. But she was fully clothed. She was just super hot. But I'm like, okay, I take it back. I have heard of one scenario in the whole Pee-wee thing. Okay, look, so it happens. But in those scenarios, the guy should be dealt with because you're being inappropriate. You see what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, she tempted him. No. You have an issue if you got to do that here. Like, come on, man. What are you saying?
Well, some dudes like beyond just like their titty show. It's like if they just see a cute looking girl's face or the way her hair is or whatever, it's like they're automatically. So to be, I mean, guys looking at women like, oh, they're attractive, but it's like you don't have to take it to like the extreme levels in public. Like, oh, you know.
Like I can see a woman in a puff coat and jeans and be like, oh no, yeah, she's hot. Like I have the gist of what's going on. You don't need like women do all the fancy dress up stuff for other women. Like guys, I always go back to Drake. Drake quoted it, hair tied, sweatpants, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the prettiest. Like, we don't need all of that. We appreciate it in the moment. If we're going on a red carpet, by all means, throw on the red bottoms. But every day, like it actually bothers me if I don't know what your face looks like without makeup.
Yeah.
And I don't like your makeup on my face. If we're dating, that's too much. So I prefer the less is more in my personal life.
Because inevitably we're going to see it. We're going to see it eventually. We sleep over your house overnight. We're going to see it unless you just get up like extra early to get makeup on. But like we're going to see it. So I'd rather see that version of you. And then if I get the made up version, it's a bonus. But still,
like for a few minutes for some pictures. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But yeah, this whole like can't be seen in public without it. Why not? What's wrong with your face? I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, some people it's just like they feel more secure thing. You know, it's your choice. If that's how you feel, you know, no judgment. But I'm saying for most of the guys I know, the preference is, you know, less is more, and like, you know, special occasion. Make it special. You know, not that's how your everyday looks. It's a lot. And it takes a lot of time, it's a lot of money. Like, you ain't gotta be like that every day. That's all I'm saying.
It really does, yeah.
And then back to the whole nudity thing, part of why there's such a demand is because it's taboo. And I don't understand why we as a society don't get that. Or if we do, and that's kind of the point, the whole thing of sex sells. You know, sex sells, we like society has sexualized everything because of the fact that it draws attention. And the best way to counter that is to make it not taboo. Being completely real, in a nudist camp, nobody cares about nudity because everyone's nude all day, every day.
So like my day too, like, all right, I've seen other women here, I'm over it. Of course, there are also a lot of older people doing it too. So,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you're around, like guys who work at strip clubs don't really care about seeing women naked. You're just you're kind of over it. You're like, okay, especially them. Like, now the guys who come in, like, oh my God, look at her.
Oh my God.
And like, how do you not just completely lose your mind here? Because I see her every day. And she's really kind of a problem. Like, I know her.
Yeah.
I have conversations with her. You don't want those.
I had the same issue in college. I lived with this girl that was like really, really hot. But I lived with her every day, and I knew she was messy. I knew that she had multiple dudes coming over, and people would be like, "Oh, man, you live with her? She's so hot." I'm like, "No, you don't know the day to day of this. If there's the magic is gone for me. Sorry, not gonna happen."
That's the How I Met Your Mother. Gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the real answer. Like, if we really, really actually wanted the answer, don't make it a big deal. It's not a big deal anymore. But as long as it's a big deal, then the kid's got to sneak a nudie magazine to see something. Versus, if there every day, he's gonna go Al Bundy with it. You gotta do it again tonight, Peg. You know, I know that's like an old reference because nobody knows who Al Bundy is anymore. But before she was Gemma Teller, she was definitely Peggy Bundy. Look her up. Just saying. Because y'all know Sons of Anarchy. Don't tell me you don't know Sons of Anarchy.
Oh my God.
You know Sons of Have you seen it? Do you know?
I didn't watch it. No.
Great show.
I knew of the show. I just didn't watch it.
No, you need to go watch the show right now. Okay.
Like 6 seasons? That's a lot of
you have an hour.
Oh my God.
Next episode is about Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I'm lying. But we said it was a great show.
Oh my God.
But no, it's crazy because her younger years, she played Peggy Bundy, where her husband wasn't interested in her sexually.
Yeah.
He was really annoying. And then when she got older, she played the hot biker mom. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It was just one of this weird phenomena. Like, she pulled it off too. Hey.
And now she's on the Connors, being the hot older woman.
Is she?
Yeah.
I guess she was like, I want to be hot. Like, I didn't get to do it on my young show. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna just live out my hotness. Like, that's go ahead and live. You
still got it too. Like she's like probably in her 50s.
Oh no, yeah, she a bad mom. She a bad mom. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah. If you had OnlyFans, I'd join.
That's a little far. I'm not sure. No, I can't sign up on that.
No.
The YouTube channel. I watch her YouTube channel. I follow her on Instagram. I don't know about her Twitter though. I might not follow her Twitter.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not saying I'm against older, because but I'm just saying, more about the black don't crack when it comes to the older ladies.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I feel that. All right, man. Well, this has been the show, people. So feel free to leave your comments down below about anything involving OnlyFans, about stuff in general. Like, we always want to hear what you guys have to say, and we can make topics about it for our various videos and whatnot. But yeah, it's been fun, good time. So hopefully, if you're watching this and you're an OnlyFans person, you got to talk to her first to figure your life out. And yeah, we will be rooting for you. So.
And if you are someone who has an OnlyFans and is trying to figure out where to go next, leave a comment because we can direct you to some people who got a plan. I won't do it here. I'm gonna be real because I invited someone on the show. She wasn't able to make it, but she got a whole plan of where to go next. Yeah. So I will happily refer you over. Y'all can get this money together. I got you. All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll check y'all next time. APT Songs, Joe Hollywood in the building. We are out of the no cap zone. Peace, suckers.